welcome to our special show on World Sight Day, Vision 2020 by 2030. That's the perfect vision by 2030. I'm Gargi Rawat. World Sight Day is marked every year on the second Thursday of October, and it's a WHO-backed global event meant to draw attention to blindness and vision impairment. This is especially important for India, as India is home to the world's largest number of blind people, making up for more than 30% of the globe's blind population. But a startling fact is that 75 to 80% of all cases of blindness in India could have been prevented with a simple procedure, and early detection is crucial. So let's go across to our guests to talk more about all these important issues surrounding eyesight and maintaining eye health. Today we're joined by Dr. Kaushik Murli, President, Shankara Eye Institute, India. Sauman Bhaumik, CEO of Titan Eye Care, and actor Kabir Bedi, who's the brand ambassador for NGO Sight Savers, which is involved in creating awareness about eye health. Thank you so much all for joining us for the program today. And Kabir Bedi, I'd like to start with you. You've been championing this issue for a while, so tell us why this issue of eye health and awareness in India is so important.
Well, you know, at a personal level, my grandmother was blind, so I saw the effects of that. And I felt very deeply about people who had visual problems. And when Sight Savers India asked me to be their honorary brand ambassador 5 years ago, I absolutely jumped at the opportunity, because the work they're doing is absolutely phenomenal. I could talk about the millions of eye operations they've done for free. I could talk about the millions of eye inspections they've done for free. But, you know, the thing that touches us the most is how other people having sight problems affects our lives. And we did this program called Rahi, which set about finding all the truck drivers of India and seeing what they need in terms of sight, because that affects everyone. And they did a thing on the Golden Quadrilateral: Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai, Mumbai, Delhi, and the north, south, east, west axis. And we reached about 500,000 truck drivers and found that 47% had sight problems. Now that's a problem for everyone. And I have also seen at a very personal level what the gift of sight does to people. It's the single most valuable gift anyone can give anybody. If you close your eyes for 30 seconds and try and imagine what the rest of your life would be if you had to live it like that, you realize there's nothing more valuable that you can give people than the gift of sight. And it's, as you said, so many cases are preventable, many more are treatable. And I thank every single person who's contributed to the work of organizations like Sight Savers India that gives these treatments for free across the country and changes the lives of millions. I have a lot more to say, but I'll leave you a chance to speak to the other panelists.
Well, thank you so much for, speaking so passionately about this issue and, for your service of being involved with this NGO. Dr. Murli, if you could add to that, if you could tell us more about why it's so important to create awareness about this issue and the importance of World Sight Day.
Ma'am, any aspect of healthcare has three barriers: accessibility, availability, and affordability. Eye care is no different. This year, the theme for World Sight Day is Leave No One Behind, and it becomes very imperative when you're looking at it from two lenses. The first is when you're looking at, say, children specifically. No child will ever complain that they cannot see. They will either go close to the board or hold a book closer to them, because they just imagine that what they're seeing is what the world sees. So it becomes extremely important for us to proactively screen them to see if there is any possible eye defect that they may have, and then treat them. The second aspect that comes is from India being India. We are a large country. We have 1.3 billion population. We span the size and breadth that Mr. Bedi mentioned requires interventions across the country. And this gets compounded by the low resources that are available. So between both of this, yes, we do a lot in terms of eye care, but there is a lot more that needs to be done, a lot more creatively that needs to be done if we need to make a dent in the vision impairment in our country.
I'd like to go across to Mr. Bhaumik now. And, Saumen, if you could tell us what is the significance of World Sight Day for an industry leader like Titan Eye Plus? Also, according to statistics, 55 crore of 140 crore in India need vision care. And out of these, only 17 crore actually use spectacles. So all these are very, very concerning figures.
Thanks, Gagi. I will try and bring alive the significance to us about the World Sight Day. We know that we perceive the world around us through our eyes, and in fact, 70 to 80% of the worldly perception, as I mentioned, is actually through our eyes only. And if I can't see the world clearly, it simply means that I am experiencing less of the world, the beautiful world around us. Few other facts which kind of reinforces the importance and urgency of the issue. An estimated $37 billion is lost due to fall in productivity triggered by vision impairment. Second issue is myopia. I think we know myopia exists and probably little more prevalent in the some part of the world, but now it is across the globe. And many people describe this as a silent pandemic sweeping the world. Forecast is not great. By 2050, half the world is expected to have myopia, right? So that's another big matter of concern. And lastly, if you look at countless accidents that happen around us, whether it is indoor, in the road or otherwise, or at home, in the bathroom, fall, and so on and so forth. If you analyze closely, you will actually find many of the root causes can easily be attributed to eyesight or poor eyesight. So again, everybody knows eyes are important, eyesights are important, but let's go back to the facts that you started with. 140 crore population, 55 crore needing vision correction, only 17 crore adopting a solution like a specs or a contact lens or some corrective surgery. So the other side, the 38 crore are blissfully unaware of what they can't see, the limitation or the deficiency that they have. That's a huge concern. So when we looked at it in 2019, these figures really hit us hard, and we decided to do something about it in the space of mass awareness creation. So therefore, World Sight Day or around the time, we found a way to sort of really reach out to many, many more people than we were used to. And the significance of World Sight Day for us is that it kickstarted something that we haven't probably, spent enough time and energy on. And it is from 2019 World Sight Day onwards, we started really accelerating the process of, awareness creation. This is the first and foremost step towards a good, healthy eye health,
Right.
in a country like ours.
That's right. So Dr. Murli, then how often should one get an eye checkup done? And especially for children, what are some of the signs that parents can look out for that may indicate that their child has a problem?
So what we recommend traditionally, and unfortunately doesn't often get followed, is that every child should have an examination as soon as they're born, and again at the age of 1, 3, and 5. What this helps us do is it helps us to preemptively identify certain conditions which we could intervene before they even enter the school age group. Once at 5, we examine the child based on whether we find them to have any refractive error that requires correction or any other eye condition. The ophthalmologist or the optometrist would be able to guide them in terms of the frequency of exam. What Saumin mentioned about myopia becomes very critical because unlike other healthcare interventions, it's not a one-time intervention. So a child wearing glasses may either outgrow the frame and may require a new glass, or the power may change because the child is growing taller, therefore the dimensions of the eye changes. So a periodic eye exam in children is definitely required. Bare minimum is at 1, 3, and 5. Once you get older, the most critical phase again kickstarts once you cross about 40 years of age, wherein you require some kind of a correction to start reading for near. And today, unfortunately, India is also the diabetic capital of the world. So those who are diabetics should definitely get their eyes examined at least once a year, irrespective of whether they have complaints or not. Once beyond the age of 50, again, you get examined more periodically.
All right, so that's important to keep in mind about when you need to get it checked, and especially after the age of 40 as well. In fact, talking about children, let's just listen into one parent testimony where the parents realized that they had missed the early signs that something was wrong with their child's eyesight. Just take a look.
Hi, this is Sushmita.
Hi, this is Anand. It all started during pandemic where kids were going through online education, Their assignment, their activities were happening on digital devices, which resulted their screen time increase.
Yeah. My 9-year-old started to watch TV very closely. I had suggested her not to bring any device near to her eyes, but later on I found out that she was actually squeezing her eyes when she was trying to focus on something. So that's how we got to know that she definitely needed an eye checkup. We went for an eye checkup and found out that she needed an spectacle. We got it immediately made, and from then onwards she never faced any problem while studying or anything. So we suggest all the parents to check their kids' eyesight especially on time so that it does not deteriorate any further. Please do not delay it.
All right, so Kabir Bedi, clearly there's a need to create awareness among people not to miss these early signs, when it comes to the eye health, because very often, and this is also important to emphasize, that it can be treated and even reversed, which is why this early detection is something that we're, emphasizing so much here.
Yes, absolutely. And, I think my fellow panelists have made some very important points about early detection, about the amount of people that have this problem. And it is a huge social problem. And, we as a people are caring people. We reach out, we help people, we support people. Sight Savers India, etc., supported by largely small donations from large numbers of people. And I thank them all. But, the thing is, I won't enter the area of statistics and the larger picture because my co-panelists are far greater experts on that than I am. What I will say is that it's important for us to have compassion as people and feel for those who especially have sight-related problems, because it is the worst thing in the world to be deprived of sight. And if you know people that have eye problems or tending to have eye problems, take the trouble to have them taken to a place, checked and treated. It's not much that it takes to do, but it goes a long way in helping people's lives. Among the larger programs of Sight Savers, of course, there's huge things happening which they do for people for free. But for instance, what touched my heart the most was when a group of 10 children was brought from Rajasthan and Jharkhand and Chota Nagpur, and children who were blind or partially sighted, who'd never been to Bombay or to Mumbai or felt the sea or known what it is to be in a big city, and to give them the experience of that, not having even seen that on screen sometimes. And for them to come here and wade into the sea and feel the power of that water around them and know what that power of the sea is and how far it reaches. And we can tell them about how far it reaches and they can feel it. Those are human experiences that are very important and touching. They'd never had pani puri before. They'd never had coconut water before. They'd never been in a city where you have to drive 2 hours to get across the city. It was a life-changing experience for them. And I think that highlights how life-changing anything to do with the gift of sight is, because there's nothing more fundamental to most people's existence than the ability to see and live and operate in the world. So the best gift you can give anyone is the gift of sight. And any way you can improve their sight, save their sight, cure their sight, even by bringing people to Sight Savers and saying, look, this person needs a cataract operation, they'll do it. That is what I'm asking for people, because it's nice for people to receive the information about the larger problems. It's very important. But what's equally important is to know that each one of us can reach out and do something about it by helping somebody who's blind cross a road, by helping somebody get to a health center, to, even in the villages, there's these carers called ASHA, the ASHA team. And ASHA teams actually go out and find people with sight problems and bring them to Sight Savers. So you don't have to wait to become the sheriff of a city or you can just become that ASHA person even in a city and help people's lives and change people's lives. And I think is the important message of World Sight Day.
Right, absolutely. Trying to make it that difference to one person and also to have compassion for those around us. Well, talking about, early detection, Somin, if you could tell us about, the 10-second red-green test developed by Titan Eye Plus, and you've been running ground events also for people to come and get their eyes screened.
Sure. As I explained earlier, that we needed to have a way to have mass awareness kind of demonstrated. We have been doing eye tests. Our optometrists have been going out of the store, apart from doing what they do inside the clinic. Since our inception, 2009, we had dedicated team in each of the region who used to go out into schools, into colleges, institutions, corporates, and so on and so forth. But we realized while we have done several lakhs of eye tests over the years, looking at the scale of the problem, it is simply not good enough. We needed a smarter solution. So around 2009, World Sight Day is when we decided that we got to do something about it. Our optometry and tech team came together and came up with a solution, which is in a way what we call internally as a red and green test. It's actually a standard duochrome test that we conduct in any of our clinic where we do 20 odd tests for diagnosing, and that we kind of digitized it, made sure that it is therefore transferable digitally, and we recalibrated it for the distance, because in the clinic we have certain distance for the test, and here it should be enabled digitally. So what we have now is a simple 10-second screening mechanism which can be self-administered online through your mobile or your laptop at your convenience. What you get is an automated message which tells you that you got perfect sight, therefore nothing to worry, or you got to go to a nearby ophthal or optometrist to get your eye tested. So powered by this, in fact, it liberated us. It has removed all the constraints that we have been struggling for so many years. Now with that innovation, we could actually do a mega event on 21st of April. We could do 1.3 lakhs people's online eye screening on a single day, for which we also got the Guinness Book of World Record. The record is not the topic here. Basically, we have got a mechanism which can allow us to reach out to many, many people today. So it's a daily affair for us. It's not about World Sight Day. It's not about the 21st April. Every day, each of our store guys, in a way, find a way to make awareness, create awareness among somebody within their catchment. That's what red and green test has done for us.
All right, that's wonderful to know. And with that, we'll slip into a short break. Before that, here's a look at how people are getting the red green eye test done for free at various Titan kiosks on World Sight Day. And Titan will also later inform them if they need to get any further testing done. Here's a look. Welcome back to our special show, Vision 2020 by 2030 on World Sight Day. We're talking about eye health and the importance of getting regular eye checkups done. Let's go across to our panel. And Dr. Murli, how important is it that the right person tests your eyes? Because this is something not everyone is aware about.
Yeah, what you raised is a very pertinent point. Often we undermine the capability of the person or the healthcare provider. In eye care specifically, we need to be aware of different cadres. What Somin shared is a wonderful tool of us being able to screen a person. But that is just the first step. Essentially, there are three different categories of people. The first are the opticians. which probably most of your viewers would be more familiar with. These are people who run optical shops. They basically are people who are trained to dispense the spectacle frame and the lens and make little tweaks and adjustments to that. So that is one cadre of specialists that are there. The second large cadre that is available are optometrists. These are people who undergo a 4-year graduate program. They're trained, among other things, to test your eyes, run your basic refraction, find out what the power of your eye is, look at contact lens requirements. Like Mr. Bedi mentioned, there are people who have low vision to assist them with assistive devices if need be, and beyond all of that. The last cadre are colleagues such as mine who are ophthalmologists. We complete our medical education and further qualify to become ophthalmologists. Some of us continue on the journey and super specialize into an area of specialization. The difference between what we can do and the optometrist cannot is we can dispense medication and we can also operate on various people for various eye ailments that are there. So based on your condition, it is important for you to reach out to the appropriate cadre of person so that one, you're confident that you're getting the best possible for your condition, you're getting the best guidance for your condition and the best care for your condition. Because strongly we believe that eye care in India should not be limited to where you stay.
All right. And Mr. Bhomik, this is something you've been raising as well, this issue, about ensuring that people go to the right person to get their eye tested. In fact, if I think back, the last time I had my eye tested was probably at a shop, like Dr. Murli, spoke just now. So this was not something that I was very aware about either.
Yeah, so in India, it's not exactly regulated, unlike some of the other countries. But given the size of the country, population, and the number of ophthal and optometrists that we have, I suppose it is too early to get into regulation right now. But it's important for us to be aware that if I am going to get my eye tested, might as well go to someone who has the requisite qualification, training, etc. And right from the beginning, even before we knew whether our business model works or not, we ensured that in each of our stores, we had qualified optometrists who are further trained in collaboration with the Shakka Netralaya of Chennai, and only then they were allowed to look at anybody else's eye. So it is important that we have the right kind of skill even before we start, looking at people's eyes. So that's the general approach. But, like Doctor said, there are three, cadres of people who are addressing the issue. And I suppose over a period of time with collective awareness, things only will get better.
Thank you so much all for joining us on this program and talking about this very important issue of eye health and emphasizing to our viewers how it's so important to get regular screening done and early detection is key. Thank you.